Good morning, students. Welcome back to today's information technology class. Did you all enjoy your vacation, Christmas holidays? That's good. So now it's time to get back to your studies. Today I'm going to start a new chapter. So before starting the new chapter, let's talk about the previous two chapters. So do you remember the two chapters what we studied? Yes, the very first unit we studied about IT and ITES industries. Okay, so unit 1, IT and ITES industry. Introduction to IT and ITES industry. So what we studied in this unit? We studied about what is mean by IT, information technology, and what is mean by information technology enabled services. Do you remember? That's good. Okay. So information technology means just creating, editing, formatting, and sharing the documents. It's called information technology. And enabled services means uh, the information technology which enables the businesses to give a quality service. It's called information technology enabled services. And we studied about different IT fields, the applications of IT. In what are all the fields we are using information technology and in what way we are using it. So we studied everything in detail, right? Okay. Then what else we studied? Only this much. Different applications of IT. Then after that we covered with Unit 2. So who remembers the Unit 2 name? Yes, it is data entry and keyboarding skill. Unit 2, data entry and keyboarding skill. Keyboarding skills. So data entry, it's a type of job opportunity. You can get it. Even if you complete a single degree, you can opt for a data entry operator. Data entry operators means they will be doing multiple type of works. Okay, so for doing work in a computer, the very first skill is you should know the keyboarding skills, how to effectively type in the keyboard, how to effectively fastly type in it. Okay, so we studied about the keyboarding skills, how to handle the keyboard, how to keep your fingers, how to move fingers, everything we have studied. Okay, that we studied that keys are arranged in three rows, alphabets are arranged in three rows in a keyboard, and a way to keep your fingers, the base position, then upper row, lower row, a bottom row, everything we covered. So I hope it's clear for everyone. Yes, well, so in this case we are going to study the third unit. We are going to do with the third unit. So before starting the third unit, a small video clipping I would like to show. Please go through the same.
Typewriter. A typewriter is a writing machine that produces characters similar to typeset print by means of a manually operated keyboard that actuates a set of raised types which strike the paper through an inked ribbon. The first really successful machine was invented by Christopher Latham Scholes of Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1868. What happens when you press a key? Here's the typewriter with the top cover removed. The keyboard is at the front. The paper moves from left to right on the carriage at the back. In between is a complex arrangement of levers and springs. A typewriter like this is completely mechanical, powered entirely by your fingertips. It has no electrical or electronic parts. So, how do you use it? The basic idea is simple. You press a key and a lever attached to it swings another lever called a type hammer up towards the paper. The type hammer has the slug of metal type on the end of it. Each hammer has two characters on it. Normally, the lower character strikes the page. If you press the shift key, the carriage tips up and back so the upper character hits the paper instead. Just as the type is about to hit the page, a spool of inked cloth called a ribbon lifts up and sandwiches itself between the type and the paper, so the type makes a printed impression as it hits the page. When you release the key, springs make the type hammer fall back down to its original position. The carriage moves one space to the left, so when you hit the next key, it doesn't obliterate the mark you've just made. The carriage continues to advance as you type until you get to the right edge of the paper. Then a bell sounds and you have to press the carriage return lever. This turns the paper up and moves the carriage back to the start of the next line. Why are the keys on a typewriter or a computer board arranged in such a strange way? If you've ever typed quickly on a mechanical typewriter, you'll know the reason. The type hammers move up and down so quickly that they can collide and jam together. To reduce the risk of that happening, the designer of the first popular typewriter, Christopher Latham Scholes, rearranged the keyboard so letters often used spaced widely apart. For example, if you type the word probably very quickly, your fingers have to keep leaping from one side of the keyboard to the other as you go from one key to the next. That gives each type hammer time to fall back down and get out of the way of the next hammer that's about to rise up, reducing the risk of a jam. Now, computer keyboards are entirely electronic. There's no reason at all to keep the QWERTY keyboard layout. We keep it because most people know it, and for no other reason. It's a charming quirk of history, and long may it remain so.
Did you see the video, students? Yes. What is that video talking about? They are talking about a typical typewriting machine which was used in earlier days. Am I right? Yes. What is the purpose of this typewriting machine? It is used to make documents. It is used to make documents, right? So we have to insert a paper, we have to roll it. When we insert a paper, then you can see the keyboard with the keys, alphabets are arranged in 3 rows. Also the numbers you can see. Okay. What you have to do is, as you do with a normal computer keyboard, you have to keep your fingers and hold down the key. But here it's not a soft one. You have to give your pressure on your finger to touch the keys. So when you just press the key, what happens? There is a lever attached to that, but each and every key. Whatever key you press, that will the lever strikes the ribbon, and ribbon creates the marks on the paper. So that's the reason you are getting the printed copy, right? So imagine that, is it easy to do? If you want to make 100 copies, is it possible to make 100 copies with this typewriting machine? Maybe at a time 3 or 4 copies you can make it with the carbon sheets. Okay, if you want to make 100 copies, then you have to type as many times, right? So time, if you just think about it, it will take a lot of time, right? And effort also you have to put. And if you made any mistakes, is it possible to correct it? No, right? It's not possible to correct it. You have to again retype everything. You have to retype everything. So there are a lot of disadvantages of this typewriting machine. Okay, and just imagine that even before typewriting machine, what people were doing, how they are making the documents. How they are making the documents? They are just taking a paper, using a pen, they are writing the documents with their own handwriting. And wherever they want to produce, they will produce that paper to the other person, right? Third person, they will distribute it. But there also some difficulties are there. What are the difficulties? The very first thing is handwriting. Okay, not everyone can understand everyone's handwriting. Sometimes the handwriting changes, right? So we don't understand what they have written. So the handwriting, understanding the handwriting, it's a first problem. Then making copies. If I want to distribute a particular document to 100 people in the surrounding, then I have to make 100 handwritten copies, right? So that is also not possible. That is also a difficult task. Then this documents, the pen and paper document, we cannot safeguard it for a longer period. We cannot safeguard it for a longer period. Okay, a dust so it may be dusted, or You know that the ink, it will be faded after 1 month or 1 year. You can see the ink will be faded. You cannot see through it clearly. So there are a lot of disadvantages are there. So if you even take a typewriting machine also, you cannot make any changes to the document which you prepared. And if you want to make a changes again, you have to retype everything one more time. And taking multiple copies also not possible, right? And different types of handwriting styles also you cannot use it in the typewriting machine. So typewriting machine also has some disadvantages, and writing with a pen and paper also has disadvantages. So what overcomes all these difficulties? So do you know which software? That's good. Word processing software, which overcomes all these difficulties, and nowadays we are able to make document as we like. We can make any modifications, and whatever we want we can do it. With a colorful format we can do it, which is with the help of word processing softwares. Using word processing software, what we are doing? We are creating documentations. We are creating documentations. So as it is a computerized one, so we call it as digital documentation. We call it as digital documentation. So first, you should know what is mean by document. So do you know what is mean by document? Document means it can be anything, right? It's a piece of paper. Document is nothing but a piece of paper with something written inside it. What is written? It may be your progress report, or it may be your project, or it may be any essay, any report. Okay, anything it can be. It can be an essay or a poem. It may be a thesis or manuscript. Anything. It can be anything. A letter, anything. So document means it's a piece of paper with some written things, with some written documents. So what it should be there? It can be a letter or a report, thesis, project, anything it can be inside it, which is called document. Which is called document. Then what is meant by documentation? Documentation means the process of making the document. Process of making the document, it's called documentation. Is it clear? So you should know what is meant by document and what is meant by documentation. So let me write it here. So what you should know, what is meant by document. It's a paper. It's a piece of paper with some written content. Written content. So what is this written content? This written content may be a letter or a report or a thesis or an essay paragraph. It can be anything. Okay, your project work. It can be a magazine, or it can be a newspaper, front page of a newspaper, or any pages of a newspaper, or anything. So that is the written content. So in a piece of paper, if something is written, then we call it as a document. Then what is meant by documentation? The process of making this document, it's called documentation. Okay, the process of making a document. Making a document is called documentation. Process of making a document, it's called documentation. Clear? Okay. So what is the third unit we are going to study about? So we are going to study about this documentations, and we are doing with using information technology. So it is called digital documentation. It's the name of the third unit we are going to cover today. Okay, digital documentation. So this is the name of the unit which we are going to study now. I have given a small introduction about this chapter. Okay, so what is the unit 3? What is unit 3? Digital documentation. Digital documentation is the next unit we are going to cover. Okay, so as I said in the second unit, keyboarding skills, data entry and keyboarding skills. For a data entry operator, as I said, The very first essential qualification or criteria is keyboarding skills. He should know fast typing. He should be a touch typist. Then only he can achieve, he can obtain for the particular job, for a data entry operator. Okay, so that is the very first thing. Then what is next? So if you are very good with the typewriting skills, also you should be able to work with the word processing software, because you are typing, where you are typing in particular software, which will be especially with the word processing. You are creating documents, so the documents mainly based on the word processing software. Okay, depends upon the company. Each company will be using different types of word processing softwares, right? So you should be familiar with the word processing software and how to use it. So that is what we are going to study in this chapter. Clear? Okay. And till eighth standard, okay, you might have studied about Microsoft Word. Am I right? So Microsoft Word is also one of the word processing software, right? Okay. And in this chapter, we are going to study about another word processing software which is called LibreOffice. LibreOffice, which is a free and open source software. Free and open source software. Got it? And before seeing that software, let us discuss the features of the any word processing software. Word processing software, everything looks similar only. Okay, using graphical user interface, there are so many icons are there, menus are there. You can just select and click, and you can do your work very nicely. You can make it very attractive, your document. Everything is going to be the same, but the appearance, the way it looks, that's going to be differ from one processing software to another processing software. So minor changes will be there. Okay, so different companies will be using different word processing softwares. As if now you people were studied about Microsoft Office and you are familiar with that. So in this unit, we are going to study about LibreOffice. As I said before going to this LibreOffice, let us just learn the features of any word processing software. So you can just list out what are the features of word processing software. So let us discuss the features. So with the word processing, Microsoft Word, you just think about Microsoft Word, what we have done, you can list out, okay? So what we do with the word processing software, we can create the document. If you made any mistakes, you can just make the changes. That is called editing. You can save the document for future purposes, okay? And also you can take a printout. And you can select and move a particular text from one place to another place in the document. Okay, if you have a picture pasted on the top left of the document, you can just move it to the bottom right of the document. You can move the objects and text. Okay, and also you can copy the text. So moving in the sense, completely you're taking it from one place and you're putting it to another place. And if you want a same copy of a particular image or a text also, you can copy paste. Cut paste or copy paste. Cut paste is move to the another place, and then copy paste means creating another copy of the text or a object. Object means it can be an image or a word art or anything. Okay, shapes or anything. Then you can change the font size. Different sizes are available, right? So in word processing software, different sizes, 10, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, up to 72 you can see. So different sizes you can make it, font sizes you can change it, font color you can change it, and then handwriting style also you can change it. These are the main features, okay? Then you can format the paragraph as you like. You can make a single line space or a double line space, or you can move the entire paragraph to the right side of the paper or to the left side of the paper or in the middle. Likewise, you can format your paragraphs. Okay, and if you made any spelling mistakes, no need to worry about the spellings. It will give a zigzag lines, and grammatical errors also it will give a line. Right click and you can correct the spellings and grammar mistakes. Okay, and you can create a tables, you can modify the table. Okay, you can just change the size of the rows and columns and everything. In Word, you can create tables also. Am I right? Okay. Then in a table, if you want to combine multiple rows also, you can combine. I mean, merging the rows, okay, splitting the rows and columns, all you can do with a table. Then you can also combine one or two documents together. That is also possible with word processing software, and you can just print a selected text or a selected pages for the document. So you may have a 100 pages document and you may want to just print one or two pages. You can just give the particular page number and you can take the printout of only that particular page. So these are the very limited features I said, okay. There are so many features still available with the word processing software. Clear? So these are the features of word processing software. Clear? Okay. All right. So who will use this word processing softwares? It doesn't matter. Anybody can use it. Okay. Maybe in the school or in the business offices, wherever you go, any people can. Those who are using a computer, everyone will be using this word processor. So what purpose they are using it? So as I said, they are using it to create a letter, type a letter, to create a report, okay, or to create some thesis, or to create some summary, paragraph, or anything. Even teachers are using the software to prepare a question paper, question and answers, and everything, right? So, which is useful for different people in different ways, different purposes. It is very useful. And if you take an office suit, okay, if you take a one particular office suite which consists of multiple packages like a word processing software, then spreadsheet is there, then PowerPoint presentations will be there, then MS Excel, it's a spreadsheet program, then database management software, that is Access. Likewise, which is a office suite, it's a package with the multiple softwares, application softwares. So one of the office suite we are going to study about is LibreOffice. We are going to study about LibreOffice. Well, let's move on to LibreOffice. So the software we are going to study about is LibreOffice. Okay. And we are till 8th standard, as I said, we were using Microsoft Office, right? So if you want to install a Microsoft Office, you cannot go to Google and download Microsoft Office for free of cost. But this LibreOffice, you can download it for free of cost. It's a free and open source software. It's a free and open source software. Free and open source software. FOSS. We call it as FOSS. Free and open source software, which means which is free of cost. You can freely download it from the internet and you can use it. And if you become an expert and if you want to change the working behavior of this or this office software, you can make changes and again you can just distribute for others with a free of cost, which is called FOSS, free and open source software. And this LibreOffice suite, it's available in many languages. So you can download it with free of cost and you can just get it in many languages and you can use it in many operating systems like a Windows, Mac, Linux and all the operating systems you can use it. Okay. And if you take a Microsoft Word, the Word files are saved with a .doc extension, right? DOC extension, this is MS Word. Word files are saved with .doc extension or .docx extension, right? And here, this LibreOffice document files are saved with .odf format. They are saved with .odf format, open document format. Okay, so this is LibreWord. It's saved with .odf format. Okay, and once you create a document, you can save it with a different format also. Even though you are working with the LibreOffice, you can also save it with Microsoft Word format, or you can make it as a PDF format. You can make it as a HTML, XML, different formats are there. You can save it with the different formats. And this LibreOffice suite, which consists of the following packages. Okay, the first one it's called LibreWriter. The first one it's called LibreWriter. It is a word processing software. This is a word processing software. Okay. Then for presentation, for PowerPoint presentation, which provides a call package called Impress. Impress for creating presentations. Then Excel spreadsheet for making calculations and other things. Spreadsheet we are using Calc. The name of the software it's called Calc. It's a spreadsheet software. Then Base, it's for database management system. For database management system. And for draw it's for making MS painting. Okay, draw for to paint. So these are the LibreOffice suite packages. So clear? You should know the names and what is the purpose of each thing. Okay. So word processing we are using Writer, LibreWriter. For creating presentations we are using LibreImpress. Then for spreadsheet, Calc software is there. Database management system, Base, you can take the word. Then to draw and paint, you can use Draw software. This is a LibreOffice suite. Clear? Good students? Let's move on to practical session.